welcome back to the Charles Butler Show. We're here with Mr. Peter Jedick, who is a columnist and an author, and we are going to have a very lively discussion today, talking about Greece, and he authored a book of how Democrats bankrupted America. So welcome to the show, Peter. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, Charles.
Hey, man, Greece has been given 5 more days of life. I don't know what they plan to do with this country that puts nationalism ahead of corporate-crats in the EU.
Yeah, if they break off from the EU, that's going to be a bad thing. That could be a forewarning for other countries, maybe like Italy or Spain. It could have a domino effect. So they should hopefully they'll work it out. This has been going on for months and years, so they have to work it out pretty quick, I guess. So,
but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
No, it doesn't look good. And, if they pull out, they have pretty much of a left-wing prime minister, and no one knows what he's going to do. He doesn't seem to want to pay his bills. It's basically what it is. They only owe $2 billion. This is only over $2 billion that they owe International Monetary Fund. That's in Washington. That's just Trump. That's pocket change.
Yeah, it is. But we're going to be just like Greece. I predict if we get another Democrat in office.
I agree with you.
And unless we get a Donald Trump in office who is not waffling on the issues, now Scott Walker's trying to waffle on illegal immigration. He says, well, I'm not a nativist. I'm pro-immigration. There's nothing wrong with our immigration system. Why don't these people understand that? When we say immigration reform, all I hear is pathway to citizenship.
You're right. There's nothing wrong with legal immigration. We have legal immigration. It's the illegal immigration, and I don't understand why they can't understand that in Washington. I agree with you on that one, Charles.
Well, as we continue to go down this cycle, we see Greece defaulting on its $1 billion loan. I mean, what's a lousy $1 billion? We give away how many trillions of dollars have we spent on Afghanistan and Iraq? We don't even know.
Yeah, what my book's about is that we're $18 trillion in debt, and and all we keep doing is raising the debt limit. Charles, I think we might have talked about this last time. You know how much we have to borrow every day to keep Congress working? How much they have to borrow every day?
No.
It's $2 billion. That's the same amount that Greece has this big crisis over. What that means is that when Congress goes to work in the morning in Washington, they have to swipe their credit card and borrow $2 billion just to keep the government working. And, they don't seem to realize you have to pay interest. Like if you have your house and you have a credit card, you have to pay interest on that. And that's every day. That's how we got $18 trillion in debt.
But you have to remember, they don't care because it's not their money. They don't. The government, these people flaunt our money around like it's their money. In fact, I want to play that clip again, Tom, the one with Obama saying, "This is my house." If we can start it fairly close to where he says this is a heckler at the White House a couple of weeks ago, a transgendered heckler. Barack has all these freaks coming to the White House who 10 years ago, 20 years ago, these people would be in freak shows, and they're coming to the White House in droves. And this is a president that's made a mockery of the Oval Office, made a mockery of the office of president. I want some dignity restored to the White House. I don't care if Donald Trump goes into the White House and has a reality show called Oval Office. At least he'll show himself working, okay? Unlike Barack Obama looking at ESPN 4 hours a day.
I agree with you 100% on that one, Charles.
Okay, let's play that clip, Tom.
Americans.
Here we go.
Yeah, hold on a second. Okay, you know what? No. Hey. Yeah, listen. You're in my house. Yeah, listen. You're in my house.
Anyway, The president says, "This is my house." I don't know if you heard. We've gotten to that part yet, but because I couldn't hear it. Could you hear it over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
My house.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. But he says, "My house." Hey, it's not his house. The White House belongs to the people. He's just a temporary resident there because he's president of the United States. I don't think this guy really gets that come February 20th of 2017, he has to find a new place to live. And hopefully it's not in Chicago on 51st and Greenwood.
Yeah, that's your neighborhood, huh?
That's my neighborhood. We don't want him back.
I understand that. To get back to my book, How Democrats Bankrupted America, is that under his administration, he's doubled our national debt. It's the first time anyone's ever doubled our national debt. We're up to $18 trillion, and we're going to pass that on to our kids and our grandchildren. That's what my book's about. Is that how are we going to how are our kids going to pay that back? We can't even pay back the $2 billion we have to borrow every day to keep things functioning.
Well, there are 563 days until Obama is out of office. I'm counting down the days. I've been counting them down for quite a while now. But that equates to 80 weeks and 3 days. Let's get this guy out of office as soon as possible.
Right.
I think he's the worst president. And, it's not just Charles Butler saying that. It's not just right-wing people saying that. They're bureaucrats that have no political agenda saying this guy is the worst president we've ever had. Right.
He talks about the economy doing good, but our food stamps, we have more people on food stamps than ever before. I was just reading a story in our paper in Cleveland not too long ago. There's 15 million kids living in poverty in the United States. That's 15 million, and he's been there 6 years, and he hasn't really done anything about that.
Well,
it's the old war on poverty. It's not really working.
Well, not only that, he and Michelle Obama try to claim that they're so interested in military families. They're killing military families. They're cutting back benefits to military families. They're cutting back the budget. They're getting ready to reduce the Army by 40,000 people. This is a president who's out to destroy America, and he should be impeached. I hate John Boehner. I hope Boehner hears this. I hate him. I hope he has a heart attack tomorrow. They don't have the guts to remove this man as Speaker of the House. Nobody has the guts to stand up in Washington and do what's right. And when you speak the truth, they want you to be politically correct. Let's play Michael Steele talking about Donald Trump. Let's play that clip, please.
I would have gone out. Look, you've got to have that sister soldier moment with the party where you've got to be honest and call it what it is. The fact
you as chairman right now would aggressively criticize one of your candidates.
I would have said sooner. This is not the tone. This is not the and those who want to be president didn't until this week.
Right.
That's a problem. It's a problem of authenticity. It's a problem of legitimacy. When you're going to go speak to that community, what do you say to them? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we just figured out how we feel about this. It's not the place you want to be.
Look, I got a little bit more.
This is Michael talking about Donald Trump on immigration. What he said on immigration is absolutely correct. I've been saying the same thing about illegal immigrants. And, Jose Castaneda, who is the former Mexican foreign minister, said that Mexico's white ruling class is sending its poor, uneducated, and discontent to America. That's what the former foreign minister of Mexico said.
Oh, I agree with you. I have a chapter on immigration in my book, and it's the same problem. They're one of the problems why we're going bankrupt. They come here. A lot of times they'll come. A woman will come here 8 months pregnant, and if she has a baby here, then all of a sudden that baby's an American citizen, and then they're eligible for all kinds of
well, that's
benefits.
because they misused the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was for people who were already here, i.e. slaves who were denied citizenship because of a Supreme Court ruling, the Dred Scott case, which denied black Americans citizenship, said black Americans were not citizens. That's why we had the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment.
That's correct. But that's what's costing us, because now they come here illegally, and then they get even though they're here illegal, they still can get all kinds of benefits. That's a real drain on states like Texas and California. just even when you have the baby, just how much does it cost to have a baby? And that, they can't pay for it. Someone has to pay for it, the taxpayers.
Yeah, but we're tired, and I can tell you that folks are not happy. And, this is coming to an end. And I think we're going to have to see the American people actually start acting out, whether it's civil disobedience, whether it's going on construction jobs and driving these people out, just like these illegals who became legal and are now working in Washington D.C. on Trump's building. What about the black Americans in D.C. who couldn't train for those jobs? Because these people didn't come here with those skills. They all admitted that they learned those skills on the job.
Right.
Anyway, keep talking, man. Somebody's going to hear us, Peter. Somebody's going to pick this up, and they're going to run with it. But we have to stay out here and keep talking about these issues, whether we get credit for it or not.
Right. I have a chapter on solutions. We have to change the whole culture. If you go to peterjedick.com and you can see some of this stuff. I think we have to change the whole culture in Washington. And one of the things, one of the big things I think is we need term limits. We need to get rid of a lot of these professional politicians that are there, and they've been there forever, and they get reelected because as long as they keep giving people benefits, they're going to keep reelecting them. It's like a knee-jerk reaction.
The two guys that I really can't stand right now are McConnell and this guy Boehner. McConnell's too old, first of all, to be still in office. He needs to go. He's going to die in office.
Right.
I am sick of McConnell. I'm sick of him walking around like an old grandpa. But give somebody else a chance, man.
That's what term limits are all about. We have them in Ohio, and it worked. Ohio was in bad shape until we started these term limits. You had the same people like in Washington, Ted Kennedy. He was there like 50 years. I mean, we have 320 million people in America. Let them do a couple terms and then leave, and we could get a lot of other people that can take their place.
Peter, we'll be back. Peter, let's come back and let's talk about this radical cleaning of Congress and the Senate. Hey, we're back with Mr. Peter Jedick. Peter, tell our listeners where they can find your writings, your work.
How Democrats Bankrupted America by Peter Jedick, Jedick, peterjedick.com. It's on Amazon.com, or you can go to Kindle. Amazon, it's on the Kindle, for people who have a Kindle. It was easy to find.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, so, as we sit here and try to piece together, the immigration issue, we have to try to piece together how much money we're spending every day just to keep the government running. We spend more money in 1 week keeping Congress running than we spend 10 times as much, to put it in proper context, as the money that Greece needs to float its economy.
Yeah, Greece is like a small potatoes.
Yeah, they just need $1 billion.
It's like the state of Arizona or something compared to America, But but they have no money to pay their bills. And I don't know if you saw, they had to put a limit. You go to an ATM machine in Greece, you could only get $60 out of it. You imagine if that happened in America, what would happen on the streets? Oh, it would be terrible.
It would be. But look, help us out here. Help us out as we kind of close out. What do you see as some of the solutions? You say there's solutions in your book.
Okay, I have a whole chapter on solutions. First of all, there's term limits and balanced budget amendment that worked in Ohio. And I got a couple of other ones that you won't find anywhere else. One thing, I think we have to redesign the whole United States of America, because you have all these East Coast cities, East Coast states like Delaware and Rhode Island. I live in Cuyahoga County. It's kind of like your Cook County. I got more people in my county than they have in their whole state, yet they have 2 senators. And their 2 senators that's a lot of power on that East Coast, the original 13 states. And then you have California which has millions of people. I think 1 out of every 8 people in America lives in California. They only have 2 senators.
Right.
So that's why I think our lawmakers in Washington are out of kilter there. This whole liberal East Coast has a lot more power in the Senate than it should for the population. I think we need a constitutional amendment to actually redesign, to take a lot of those. I have a whole chapter. You take all those ones on the East Coast, lump them together, and make 2 or 3 states about the size of Ohio, and then take maybe Texas and California and split them, maybe Northern California and Southern California, and then they'll have more, senators in Texas, the East Texas, West Texas, a couple senators, and the whole nation will be more balanced. The way every state will be about the size of Illinois or Ohio. And, I think Congress would really represent the people a lot more than it does now. Instead of that East Coast Washington beltway that kind of controls the country.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, I think that the Founding Fathers wanted equal representation for all Americans. And that's, I think that we need to leave things exactly like they are. I don't have a problem with those, smaller states having that influence, because, the majority shouldn't always rule.
It's not even a majority. It just makes it about equal. Have you ever looked at a map of America during the Obama election and see how many precincts actually voted for Obama? It's unbelievable that Romney had almost the whole country, and if you look at precincts, and he just had some little, in the big cities like New York or L.A., or Chicago, where he got all these votes. It really doesn't represent. He didn't even represent the will of the country. Same kind of thing I think with our Congress. It doesn't really represent the will of the country. Not necessarily a majority. I don't think it's set up the way it should be. That's just I have a bunch of different solutions like that.
Okay. So, did you see the Hillary Clinton interview last night?
No, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Well, you didn't miss much. She was just lying again. Hillary lying Hillary. Oh, woe is me, I'm a woman. They're ganging up on me. Not working this time, Hillary. But look, where do you think what do you think is going to happen to Greece this weekend? You think they're going to fold, or is the EU going to bail them out again?
I think the EU will probably want to bail them out because I think they're worried that if they go, that like I said, it'll be Portugal and Spain next, and the whole EU could kind of fall apart. So I think that you don't want that to happen. So I think they're worried about that. I think they maybe will fold, but they don't have any money. They have banks with no money in it. That's their problem, and it's been going on for years. And I don't know how they can live like that, but we're going to end up the same way if we don't, have some leaders that actually address our debt problem. That's what my book's about.
All right. Hey, man, look, thank you so much for being with us, Peter.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Peter.
Well, thank you, Charles. Yeah, it's been great to have me. Say hi to everyone in Chicago for me. I love Chicago. It's a great city.